I have a story to tell. And this was the time that I almost died. It's probably the closest to dying I've ever been in my entire life. Now, in this story, I was in Colorado, a great state, a great place, and I was working as a camp counselor. Wasn't any normal camp counselor. I was at a camp where I was a wakeboard instructor and a backpacking guide, so definitely more on the adventure side. And they would give us 24 hours off. They'd give us 24 hours off to basically go do whatever we wanted to, to relax, get away from camp. Some people would go to like a hotel and sleep in like a nice bed because you're in a camp bed the whole time. Or some people would go travel and go to, who knows, like Grand Canyon or something like that. Well, not me. Whenever I had 24 hours off, I thrive off of people and energy. So camp life was like my bread and butter. Anytime I was in a group of people like that, I had more and more energy. So my time off would really be time where I wanted to be doing things. I had the energy to do those things. And so I decided every single time I had time off that we would go on an adventure. We skydived out of a plane in Moab over the Canyonlands National Park. We did anything we could. We went to like a nudist hot spring. We went to, ski resorts. We went to like all over the place. We went to the Sand Dunes National Park where we sandboarded down a massive sand mountain. That's a national park. It is really, really cool. But all of those things are amazing, but they're not necessarily deadly. One time, we decided to take my friend's Jeep up into the mountain passes of Colorado. Now, this Jeep was not any sort of new. 1964 kind of refurbished Jeep Wranglers, baby blue. No top, no windows, no doors. Let's take this thing up the mountain passes in Colorado. It was up into probably about 13,000 feet in the air elevation, and pretty high up there. And it's summer in Colorado, but when you get up into the mountains, there's still snow. There's still, it's still really cold up there. So we had to kind of like bring some warm gear and things like that. And it had recently been raining, and it had been a little bit warmer of a summer. And so a lot of the snow that was on top of the mountain had been melting. And because of that snow melt, it formed a river coming down the mountain. So we get up part of the mountain passes. It was already pretty precarious. It wasn't an insane mountain pass until we got to basically a river crossing. And again, like I said, it had been raining. A lot of the snow melt had come down. And so we said, can we make it through this river? And the guy that was driving, his name was Sam. He says, my brother did this in this exact Jeep a week ago. We 100% can make it. So we kind of back up, get some speed, go through the river and make it through. It wasn't too bad, actually. It definitely was higher than we thought it was, but we kind of went across in like the perfect way to get across, no problem at all. So we go up to the top of the mountain, we take some pictures, it was great. And we took all those pictures and then we came back down the mountain. And this was the time where we had to go back towards camp because, again, we only had 24 hours off. So we were like, okay, let's start heading back towards camp. And it was going to take a while to get there. As we come back down the mountain, it's starting to get dark. And as it gets dark, what happens? It gets cold in Colorado. As we come driving down the mountain, the river's in front of us again. And we say, oh, we've made it through once, we can make it through again. And we get some speed, maybe not as much as we would have liked. And we hit it straight on this time. The last time we kind of hit it at a diagonal angle. And as we hit it straight on, water just went. I mean, think of like the largest puddle on the highway. You know, you hit that water and just up over the sides. Except instead of continuing to drive forward, we stopped in the middle of the river with no doors, no windows, no top. We stop in the middle of the river. The water is rushing down, hitting the side of the Jeep, and then it just builds up in a matter of seconds. And water is just pouring into the Jeep. The Jeep at this point, the water level of the river was way higher than we thought it was. Even the first time that we went through, we kind of caught the edge of a bank. And when we came through it straight, we hit the deep part. The deep part, the base water level of this river was all the way up to basically my chest, lower chest area, like my abs, while I'm sitting in the vehicle. So way too high when you have no doors. Even when you have doors, this is a problem. Water comes rushing in. It is freezing cold. I mean, we're talking about 30-degree water that is moving. That's the only reason it's not frozen. And it's, you know, ice melt from on top of this mountain. We go, oh, beep, 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 beep. Crazy. We're taking out all of our bags. We're taking out all of our stuff. We're getting soaking wet in the freezing cold on top of this mountain. There's nobody else on top of this mountain. We take all of our stuff out. We literally swim out of the river with all of our stuff to the bank, and we just sit there and watch as the Jeep just fills completely up with water and is just sitting there. Basically, the like roll cage, if you will, the like top of the Jeep, since there is no top, just the like bars is all that's out of the water. The river water is like completely level with the top of the door, soaking the entire vehicle. And we said, okay, we have about an hour till it starts getting crazy cold. And we're on top of a mountain that is miles and miles and miles down before we even get to a road. And so we said, what the heck are we going to do? So we're sitting there, we're trying to figure it out. And one of my buddies, Bailey, he was one of the guys that was with us. Again, it was like the four of us. He says, I think I saw a camper. I think I saw someone over the hill we just came down. I'm going to see if I can go get them. And I said, okay. I mean, go do your thing. I mean, he's talking like probably 2 miles away is what he thought he saw. So he, no clothes on besides just like some boxers and some chacos. Didn't even have tennis shoes. Threw those chacos over in sport mode, wrenched those things down, and ran up the mountain again. Again, we're at like 14,000, 13,000 elevation. About an hour and a half later, here comes Bailey on the back of a vehicle. I'm like, oh, this is what we needed, right? I was like, we needed somebody that had some sort of like mountain vehicle to like drive down and pull us out. I was like, perfect. So the vehicle comes driving down and he's riding on the back of it. Okay. So that was kind of confusing at first. I was like, why is he not inside the vehicle? Why is he riding on the back? Like literally the vehicle's driving down the mountain. It's a ways away. So I can't tell what vehicle it is. And he's holding on to like the little like bike rack or like luggage rack thing on the top and just standing on the back bumper of this vehicle. And I was like, what the heck is this thing? And as it gets closer, the vehicle is a Kia Sorento. Do we know what a Kia Sorento is? It's like a glorified minivan. And so they get down. This guy's really nice. He's an older gentleman. He's by himself camping in the woods on top of a mountain by himself in a Kia Sorento with all of the stuff that he owns. We say, hey man, like, oh, we're sunk. And he goes, holy crap, that's terrible. How did that happen? We drove into the river. He's like, well, why'd you do that? We're like, we're stupid. And he goes, well, I mean, let's give it a try. Let's see if I can pull your car out. And I was like, well, we have this chain. And he goes, okay, well, let's try to use it. And I was like, I mean, you're gonna have to back into the water for this chain to even like hook up to the Jeep. And he was like, well, let's just try it. So he backs into the water. I swim out there with the chain. Actually, I think Sam swam out there first with the chain, took the chain and tried to hook it to the Jeep. He's like, I can't. The hook is too thick to attach it to the frame of the Jeep. I can't pull this out. Like, this is not going to work. It's not going to connect. Well, we had one idea. One of the things that I swam out of the Jeep with was my Eno. And so on my Eno, if you guys know, if you've ever had an Eno, it are 2 hooks, carabiners, if you will. And so we took the plastic hook, we attached the big boy chain to it, took the massive hook through the carabiner of the Eno, then took the Eno carabiner and shoved that into the frame of the Jeep in the water, and it fit. So now the Eno carabiner is on the back of the Jeep. So we go, all right, rev it up. Let's go ahead and just rev this Jeep up and see, or rev the Kia Sorento up and see what happens. Kia Sorento, and starts pulling. The chain goes completely tight, and then the Jeep gets pulled out of the water by a Kia Sorento with a massive metal chain connected to an Eno carabiner connected to the Jeep. The Jeep gets pulled all the way out of the water onto the bank. We find a spot for it to rest, and we go take the chain off of both vehicles. The Eno carabiner is not even bent. Not even bent at all. So I don't care if you weigh 400 pounds or a $120 soaking wet. You can sit in an Eno as well, because the carabiners are insanely strong. So we're like, okay, well, this is literally by the grace of God that we got this thing out. But it's now dark. It's freezing on top of a mountain. And we are literally like, I'm shaking so much I can't control myself. So we're like, what the heck are we going to do? We can't get out of here. The Jeep's been underwater for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Like, this thing can't drive. We like try to start it up. Of course it doesn't work. Like, it's soaking wet. The whole thing is busted. And he goes, this is where it got weird. This is where like supernatural got weird. And I'm dead serious. This is exactly how it happened. Old guy. I'll put on the glasses to be the old guy. He goes, well, this looks like a problem. And we go, yeah, we're freezing. I don't know what to do. Like, where should we go? Engine's completely waterlogged. And he goes, is that a 1964 Jeep Wrangler? And Sam, the owner of the Jeep, says, well, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Well, back in my day when I was about your age, I had this very vehicle, a 1964 Jeep Wrangler. We said, oh, nice, dude. I mean, the guy's kind of a crazy guy, right? He was completely hoarding his whole vehicle. We said, nice, yeah, cool, okay. And he goes, I think I might have something to fix that. And we're like, what? And he goes, yeah, let me root through my vehicle. And we go, oh, dude, we're gonna be here all day. He's gonna root through his vehicle. Like, he has his entire life inside of his car. Goes into the back in a matter of like 10-15 seconds, pulls out this bottle. Okay, have you guys seen Space Jam? In Space Jam, you know how like they pull out like Michael's secret sauce, right? And it's literally just a Gatorade water bottle, and it's just got a sticky note like plastered over the top of it. Says like Michael's secret sauce or whatever. Basically, he pulls out that very thing. It was a like metal bottle. All it said was engine cleaner. That's it. There was no branding on it. There was nothing. It just said engine cleaner. We said, okay. And he goes, don't worry. I'm gonna go. I'll get your car going in a matter of seconds. And I said, okay. So he goes, walks over to the back, goes to the exhaust pipe, takes the engine cleaner and just goes, blast it into the back. Blast it into the exhaust pipe. He goes, try the vehicle. We go up to the front, hop into the soaking wet driver's seat, take the soaking wet key, shove it into the soaking wet hole, turn that snitch, and as it turns for the third time, water comes blasting out of the tailpipe. I'm talking like a fire hose. Just the Jeep starts. This is 100% real. I swear, every sentence I have said is not exaggerated at all. And we drive down the mountain. We say, good luck, my sir. Have a great camping trip, my dude. Hope you have a good one. Peace and blessings. Have fun on this mountaintop or heaven, wherever you came from. You beautiful angel of a hoarder. Drives his little Kia Sorento up the mountain, and we go putt-putting down the mountain. We make it all the way to camping time. We're not even late. We're soaking wet. We're freezing cold. The Jeep is soaking wet still, but it works. Was he an angel? Maybe. Was he sent by the dear Lord himself? Probably. But we made it out. And that was the time that I almost died on top of a mountain from hypothermia. I hope you enjoyed my story. Thank you for listening. This is a fun one to talk about.